host of Life Full Circle Radio. Welcome to the show. All right, so Trump is all in the news. You know, something I said this last week, and I'm sticking to it. 4 years ago, whenever, longer than that, 8 years ago, I cut back the show for a minute because when Trump got elected, we ain't doing that. We staying in the fight. We staying in the game. So Trump's cabinet is wild. So we're gonna talk about that. Shine. For some people, it's so funny. Shine was on the news. He was being interviewed on MSNBC before I came into the office, and my kids were like, "Who is that?" And I was just like, "Wow." So Shine, who did 10 years for Diddy, he's now speaking out. I'll be sure he's not speaking out. So Diddy his hold continues to get deeper. Jamal, Bryant, and Ray J are beefing. I guess at the same time, Jamal Bryant got married, and Spirit Airlines is filing bankruptcy. So check us out here on the social media. Look at the page. There it is. Taking so long to come up. Come check us out here on YouTube, on Facebook. Make sure you give us a follow. We got to get these numbers up. Trying to get these numbers up. Give us a follow at Life Full Circle Radio on the YouTubes. And let me bring in the super producer.
Hello, how are you? I'm sorry.
You ain't sorry. You ain't sorry. Stop it. And so, well, hold on. Let's just let me know when you're ready.
I am ready. Let's go. Let's do this. Hi, everybody.
There we go. All right. So
Happy
jumping in.
Monday.
Happy Monday. And so, it is what it is. It's 2 weeks past the election. That was what it was. And we're going to figure this thing on out. So anyway, what's on your mind before I start pulling up these articles as we got all queued up? What's on your mind?
We are 1 week out from the official start of the holiday season, so I hope everybody's prepared. Me and my husband and our household have been slowly getting ready, getting things prepared, getting carpets shampooed, and it's great seeing your family, but it's always a hassle leading up to it, between the grocery shopping and getting the house ready, and do you have enough this and that, and the kids out of school.
Yeah, we normally, we talked about it before we came in. Last few years we were making a trip down to Mississippi to my great brother-in-law's house. Stop it. And so but he's not gonna be there. His family's traveling, so we're gonna be right here in the good GA. I'm good with that. This year's been exhausting. I don't know about you, but
Gosh. This year has been exhausting. It has been, but it went by really fast. It was exhausting, but it went by very quickly. So
yes, and that's the thing. Right. It went by super fast, and it makes you wonder, like, man, what happened to this year? But it's all good. We're gonna be fine. All right, so let's jump into this thing. There it is. I had the cabinet nominees pulled up, and I know what I did. I know exactly what I did. All right, so let's jump into this thing. The cabinet continues to be interesting. As Donald Trump continues to select who he wants to be on his cabinet. And so this is what I did. I was looking for the link, but let me tell you why, and we'll talk about this for the show. As a matter of fact, let's talk about it now. Let me go back to Two Shot, because I didn't even set you up for this. I know you're an active user of X, right?
Yeah, I am.
How long are you going to stay?
Not too much longer. I was already iffy about it with the porn, because that started happening, and I think this as well. That the porn thing started happening, I want to say at the end of 23, like whenever he bought it. When everybody left, he was quit firing people. He also allowed what he thinks free speech is anything, which includes you just be scrolling down your site and you could see anything from somebody getting murdered, somebody live streaming something inappropriate, and sexual scenes.
I was actually surprised. I ain't gonna lie. It was like, and now they're so savvy with how they get you to their pages. So I saw somebody on Instagram, and she was cooking or something, and she was like, "Okay, come check out my other page," and went to the X, and I hit X. I was like, "Whoa," and I'm like, it wasn't even like kind of like soft. It was.
No, they're doing pow literally on Twitter. Outside of that, the conversations went from disagreement to people calling you every name but a child of God. And listen, me and Miguel are both for free speech. We are on a podcast. We want free speech. We have had, you heard Chris Dowdy, who was on here last week, super fan, who was making his comments. We've had other people on here who have disagreed with us. We have had it out. It has gone from, and Twitter used to be like that. It used to, you're stupid or whatever, and that would be the extent of it. Now
Yeah.
it's, I don't like you. I think you're stupid. I'm calling you names. I'm calling you racial slurs. Now I'm doxing you. And that's not
Yeah.
good.
And doxing, for people who don't know, doxing is basically sending people to your house, putting your address on the internet and whatever. I am because I am a pack rat, and I know there's so much, and I say this, there's so much content that I've created and posted on Twitter over the years, but it's got to go. Just because not only that, my understanding now in the terms of service, terms conditions, what do you call it? Terms and conditions are just re-released.
Yeah.
Now they're going to be using your posts and using to help to improve their AI, and so this person, he was legitimately part of the reason that Trump won this election. So I brought that up only because the reason why this particular graphic that I had just pulled up.
And to be fair, it's not just the right that is acting nuts. I think they're called the Krasinski brothers or whatever. They actually got kicked off of Twitter a while ago because they found out they were harming people. And they started on YouTube channel, and nobody was going to it because they didn't have any real fans. They're back on Twitter now. It's the same garbage all over again, where they're popular for whatever reason,
Right.
but you bought your people. Like it's when Elon rolled out that you can just buy your blue check. Everybody just bought a blue check, which I think is ridiculous for everybody. But
Right.
that's me.
Right. So, but in addition to that, I'm not trying to put any more advertising revenue in this guy's pocket with these communities. And so, Blue Sky, who before we pull up this Trump, which I pulled up twice, but we'll go back to that. Blue Sky is now a mass migration is happening where I guess a lot of people are leaving Trump. They're leaving Twitter and they're going over to Blue Sky. I also saw recently, and shout out to my man, Isaac Hayes, because it looks like they are actually moving up as well on the in the Apple Store, and so we're happy to see that, because when it's all said and done, guys, we have to hit these people in the pockets. That's the only way they're going to respond. We were just talking about you. What's up, Andre Sias? What's up, Playboy? Good to see you, player. And so Blue Sky is what a lot of folks seem to be migrating to. I had never heard of it before last week, but looks like it is the new Twitter. So we'll see how that goes. And make sure you shout out to Fanbase, who we got right here on the page. Make sure you get your and you follow us on Fanbase. All right, so let's talk about Trump's cabinet. That's where we want to start this week.
Yeah.
Here is a picture of Trump's cabinet and his proposed cabinet. And let's keep in mind that these people still have to be confirmed. Now they're trying to try some other things, and they're trying to do these recess appointments, which basically means they're gonna try to send everybody home and then try to shove these people through. We'll see. But the two that continue to jump out at me are Pete Hegseth and Matt Gaetz. Now Matt Gaetz, Matt Gaetz, who you're a Florida girl, and
I'm very familiar with that. And I'm
very
gonna call him by his
familiar.
first name. I'm very familiar
Say
with that.
again. Go ahead.
I'm gonna call him by his first name. I'm very familiar with Matt. Very familiar.
Yeah. And so tell the audience why you're so familiar with Matt. Let's go there.
Matt is the same level as Andrew Gillum, and I say that for a reason. Both of these men went to college. He went to Florida State. Andrew went to FAN, but they're very, very close schools together. We all interacted with each other.
Sure.
There were always young girls from the time the stories from Florida State. There were always young girls around Matt. That continued on to his career in politics. He's always been around young girls. Nothing has changed. The same thing with the rumors about Andrew and that whole thing. Nothing apparently ever changed. We all knew the stories. They get into politics, and now it just blows up in their faces. Andrew got pushed out, embarrassed. Matt Gaetz is now going to be, what is he getting? Secretary of State?
He is getting Matt Gaetz Department of Justice.
General.
Yeah, Attorney General. And so you're basically looking at a situation where he was days away from them releasing the investigative documents because they've been investigating exactly what you're talking about here for a while.
For a very long time.
For a long time. Then all of a sudden, oh, by the way, they want to wait until the election. And oh, by the way, once the election happens, and what does Trump do? Says, hey, we'll take care of you, because once we make you, Department of Justice, which you'll be overseeing the department that's investigating you.
And that's the problem. And here's the thing: everybody on this list is not bad. It's a little goofy, but it's not bad. But there's like you said, there's two people on here. It's just two. It
No, I'm
is
not gonna
Matt.
say it's just two, but those are two that jump out at me. But go ahead.
Okay, well, the ones who I think are the worst again are like you said, it's Matt Gaetz, and let's talk about the Defense Secretary Pete.
So Pete Hegseth, who is served in the Army National Guard, he is he's a Fox contributor, and he has tattoos all over his body, which could be connected to white Christian nationalist groups. And if you doubt me, just go find them. And I don't feel like finding them right now. I might find them before the show is out. But the one thing they talked about, these people are basically activists. Almost all of the folks which have been selected, they are people who have been activists, and they're getting over. And the same thing he did, he threatened to do with his last administration, and he's doing it again. And so when you start talking about like Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy, did I say it right that time?
Yes, Vivek.
Okay. He's creating a Department of Government Efficiency. Elon Musk has bought and paid for Donald Trump, and that's the scary part about it. It really, really is concerning. Obviously you've got three women that are on this page. Tulsi Gabbard, who was a former Democrat, went independent to now. She is in this position here.
But her position as Director of National Intelligence, it's not like that's some like, why her? It's like, I get it. You get it. Why she got that position. She has been in the military for God knows how long. She is a very well-known, was a well-known senator. She's extremely smart. She loves her country. You can't knock her. It's one of those situations with her where you can't knock it. Now, who we can knock a little bit, Kristen Noem. I'm not sure if she's blowing him or not, but that's the only way she got this job. Like, she went from being...
Go ahead. Finish the thought. Go ahead.
She went from being a respected governor to then she got the Trump makeover, and then her brain left her body. And it's like, why are you here?
Thing. I don't have as much issue with people who have legitimate experience. The first one that jumps out at me is Pete Hegseth. Because right now Lloyd Austin, who's in that role, is a 4-star general.
4-star general, yeah.
35, 40 years serving, 4-star general. He obviously, has some experience, right? I just can't imagine me being a, lieutenant colonel, 4-star general, 3-star general, 1-star general, whatever, and someone who's coming to oversee the Department of Defense with over 3 million employees, and it'd be a guy who was on Fox News on the weekends. And oh, by the way, he is a National Guardsman. And oh, by the way, they were so concerned about him that they did not allow him on the detail for the inauguration of Joe Biden because of his views, his activist views. So,
and let's even go one step outside of that. Everybody's always talking about Christian this, religion that. This man has cheated on multiple women. He actually
they don't give a shit about that. They don't care. They don't care about it. Look who the president is.
But I know nobody cares. But what kills me when all these Christian organizations like, we're bringing God back to America, but hoeing is okay. Like, how is that a Christian value where we're okay with a man or any of these men? One, you're sleeping with underage girls. That's not Christian values. You are cheating on multiple spouses. You had a baby with a girl while you were still married. It's just doesn't make any sense. Stop calling it.
It's not supposed to make sense.
I'm cool with it. If it's just doesn't matter.
It's not supposed to make sense. Okay, so hi Chris, I see you here today. Gates was never convicted of anything after being investigated. Hillary and Biden were also taken care of, in your words. You're wrong again. The investigation is ongoing. He's talking about Matt Gaetz. The investigation is ongoing, and the findings were really ready to be released. And at that point, they would make a decision on whether or not they're going to try to expel him from Congress. And so the investigation now stops because he resigned from Congress. So,
and for the record, his own party wanted to expel him. Like, this wasn't like some small thing. They expelled him after the girl's testimony. I think it was one girl's testimony that was accepted, and there was 2 other ones that were supposed to come forward, all who had basically the same story. So this isn't like some secret cabal to get Matt Gaetz out. This has been going on since 2022. Maybe I want to say during COVID, this has been going on of him having these allegations towards him.
So
But
once again, let's also ask Chris this question. He's talking about the Department of Defense position. The position was created was meant to be a civilian position. Are you talking about the Department, the Secretary of Defense? I want to make sure I clear that before I respond to that. I'm just curious. So going back to Trump's choices here, as we talked about, you're creating a department, as you mentioned, for Elon Musk, Vivek Ramaswamy. Oh God, here we go. Anyway. All right, he's talking about Hillary Clinton now. So we're gonna keep it moving. We're talking about Hillary Clinton somewhere in Maine on a beach. Elise Stefanik. I don't know much about Elise Stefanik, so we're gonna keep it moving unless you know anything about him. Marco Rubio.
She's a congresswoman.
You're right. Marco Rubio talked so much crap about Trump for so many years. He pretty much got in lockstep. So here's the thing: winning has consequences. So Trump's making this election. That's fine. My biggest concern.
Even Department of State, even Marco Rubio having that position makes sense. Like I said, these aren't all like Jesus Christ. What are we doing? It's just a couple of them, and the fact that he's the Department of Government Efficiency, that's new.
Yeah, that's a brand new position. That's a brand new department that he's creating.
So that's a redundancy, basically. It's a redundancy department that the American citizens.
It's a department that Elon Musk says, "I got you elected, so you better find me a job." And so now, why he brought Vivek in there with him, I don't know. I guess they're both very wealthy businessmen. Obviously, Elon is much more wealthy than everybody. So there's that. So Chris says yes, he's talking about the department. So let me ask you this, Chris. You are former military, and I don't know what your bottom line you serve. Thank you for your service. Would you seriously would want a captain from the National Guard making decisions for how we respond in war? And I don't care who's the president. I don't care what 3 or 4 star general you put in that role. You put a 3 or 4 star general as a Secretary of Defense, right? Because that just makes sense, because you know what's going on in the world. You've not been sitting back and reading newspapers, and yeah, you may have been in combat, but there's a whole lot of folks that's been in combat who don't really know what the decisions are being made. And that's the problem I have with this thing. He's not making decisions that are, and here's the thing, he's making decisions, he's putting people in place that are puppets. They're going to listen to everything that he says. They're not going to really push back. What happened with him under his last cabinet is that he chose qualified people who challenged him, and he didn't like being challenged in those roles. And so now he's not going to put any people in those positions that's going to challenge him. That's just not what he's going to do.
Yeah, he's not. And that's what happened last time. That's why during his last presidency, it was a revolving door of people in positions.
Right.
And here's the thing about those last positions. They would come in loyal. They absolutely come in loyal. They wanted to follow Donald Trump and do what's best for the country. And in some cases, you couldn't do both. And they would leave, and then Trump would call them stupid, and that they weren't talented, and they were the worst people. They would come out, and then they would come out and write books.
You write a book, you make a whole bunch of money, you sit somewhere, you go on television, you be a pundit, and then you retire. That's that's.
With all of our pushback, our hope as Life Full Circle Radio is that this does not have as much fallout as people are concerned about. That at worst, this whole situation is annoying. That it's annoying. We see them give speeches and they do dumb stuff, and we're like, "Oh, you're stupid," and we move on about our day and things keep plugging along. I'm hoping for things keep plugging along. That's all I'm hoping for.
Yeah, I don't think people who may be mass deported when they declare national emergency and they use the military for mass deportation is going to find this annoying. This is a concern.
And we talked about this last week. This. We have friends who we're very concerned about right now who are not illegal immigrants, but who are not 100% U.S. citizens, who are concerned about what's going to happen. They are. This is not me making this up. We have, again, friends who live doors down who are concerned. We have friends who live, my mother-in-law lives in a Hindu Indian community. Not everybody apparently is legal, which she didn't know, but she's finding out now that people are now all of a sudden concerned that they're living these quiet lives in the States and working and doing this and that. It's now, it's now become a thing, and people are really concerned about it. So
no, it's a huge concern because, in essence, when you put, first of all, the military should never be deployed on our streets in the U.S. And so that's something that should, but it potentially can happen. Here's the thing that a lot of folks say: you can't take what he says literally. He's just talking. We don't until we see it not be done. Um, we have to take his words to be that these are his intentions. Now, what he did have, well, he had some guardrails. The guardrails are and I think officially now Republicans have also taken the House.
Yes.
So they got the House, you have the Senate, you have the judiciary. Who's going to stop him from doing anything that he wants to do outside of the governors who are in these states? Well, the governor of Texas is not going to stop him if he goes down there to the border. The governor of Arizona, New Mexico. Huh?
I would love to kick that man down a ramp. I would love to kick him down a steep ramp. Like, honestly,
Jesus.
that would be like that is my dream. And not even because of this. He has failed the people of Texas in more than one way. Let's take immigration out of it. The governor of Texas can't even get their electrical grid to work during either a hurricane, went out for 7 or 8 days, couldn't get that together. Then during 2 snowstorms, couldn't get it together then. Then you had a mass shooting where children died, and your response was, we did the best we could. What? Forget immigration. Can you just do good for your own people in your own state?
We are in a twilight zone. There's so much craziness that's going on. For the better part of the last 10 years, we've watched these two lose their minds over Donald Trump. These two have been.
They're just.
They've been losing their mind over Donald Trump for the last 10 years, and then there's this that happened today, right? Come on, unmute.
I stopped watching them after they got married. Like, once they got married, like, this seems like a scam.
It was the first time we have seen him.
Let's start it over. Okay, so here we go.
With President-elect Trump, it was the first time we have seen him in 7 years.
Now, we talked about a lot of issues, including abortion, mass deportation, threats of political retribution against political opponents, and media outlets. We talked about that a good bit. And it's going to come as no surprise to anybody who watches this show, has watched it over the past year or over the past decade, that we didn't see eye to eye on a lot of issues, and we told him so.
Oh, really?
What we did agree on was to restart communications. My father often spoke with world leaders with whom he and the United States profoundly disagreed. That's a task shared by reporters and commentators alike. We had not spoken to President Trump since March of 2020, other than a personal call Joe made to Trump on the morning after the attempt on his life in Butler, Pennsylvania. In this meeting, President Trump was cheerful, he was upbeat, he seemed interested in finding common ground with Democrats on some of the most divisive issues. And for those asking why we would go speak to the president-elect during such fraught times, especially between us, I guess I would ask back, why wouldn't we? Joe and I went to Mar-a-Lago to...
Oh, this girl, this woman. Let me tell you, Mika and Joe are the worst type of friends to have. They were friends with this man prior to him running. He started running. They got butthurt about it and decided, I don't want to be your friend anymore. So now, circle back, they're trying to be friends. I wouldn't, if I was trying to be like, I don't want to be your friends anymore either. We're good. I don't want to be your friends.
What happened? Mika and her ilk are the type of folks who got Trump elected, right? Because she's sitting around dinner having coffee, eating her morning Joe, her morning coffee with people, right?
Sorry.
Who voted for Trump and don't, because it's not really, this stuff is not really going to affect white wealthy women and their husbands, aka Joe Scarborough. This is not going to hurt them. Trump being in office does not cause them any pain outside of emotional pain, potentially.
But that makes them stop being his friend even weirder. It doesn't affect you at all. Y'all been friends with this man for the good part of the past 15 years. Then y'all stop speaking to him for 7. Like, again, if I was Trump, I wouldn't talk to them ever again.
That was their job. They had a morning show on MSNBC. Their job was that, we've gotten into this WWE wrestling culture of, we all act like we're not friends, but in the real world behind, when we're in the back, we're still texting and kikiing with each other. And so, but the real people who are going to be hurt by what's going on with this administration, Mika and Joe ain't it.
No, they're not.
They're not.
And honestly, the people who aren't going to be affected are not going to be the Chris's of the world, the Miguels of the world, maybe not even the Nikkias of the world. We really, honestly, middle class, upper middle class, middle class people are not going to be that affected as much, especially in our age group.
Here's where I disagree. If I have two children, that within the next 4 years, his 4 years of his administration, it will be time for us to decide where she's going to college. My last child will be 2 years behind. If he is talking about reducing funding to college for these kids, that's going to affect me, right? That's going to affect people in our families, right? We ain't there yet. We doing okay, but we're not there yet where we can just sit up and say, oh, I'm gonna go stroke a check for $80,000 a year for my kids to go to school, right? And if we do, it's going to dip into the wealth we may have started to build in our homes, right? That's the part that people don't really want to address. It's that whole, you start building, every time you build, and something in this economy knocks you down.
Yeah.
This is the stuff that we have to really take. This is stuff that people don't take this stuff seriously and wonder, So now you start looking at different ways to maintain your lifestyles. And so no, this is, but somebody like Mika and Joe, who sit on the television 4 hours a day and pound on the table and talk about how terrible things are, and then all of a sudden,
they're full of garbage.
We just went back to Mar-a-Lago, and now we're going to start opening the communications again. It is what it is. All right.
He's not going to. Anyway, so let's change the gears. Let's get into the other big, huge story of the week, and that would be Sean Diddy Combs. Lawyers from Sean Diddy Combs on Monday accused the prosecutors in the sex trafficking case of improperly processing sensitive notes he wrote by hand while in jail awaiting trial in Manhattan. So here's a problem. The handwritten notes and other materials from Combs shall include attorney-client privilege material, his lawyer said, in demanding a hearing to determine what was taken and why. The prosecutors must explain who authorized a search of Sean Diddy's sleeping area, personal effects, and paperwork. I'm going to skip all of this because what was actually found in his cell was a cell phone and handwritten notes that was giving instructions about speaking to witnesses and paying people off. And one giant payment they found out was made to Witness 2, which people believe is Kalina from Dirty Money. Witness 2 was given a huge sum of money. And then that following day, she put in a statement on Instagram where poor baby, was so high. She was high out of her mind, saying that Diddy was a great boss. She doesn't understand why everybody's saying this. She's not a witness to any of these types of things. So here's the thing about jail, people. I don't know why we got to keep explaining this. Jail is a very simple situation. The lawyers cannot go in and say, on either side, go toss his cell. That is up to the jail. If the jail feels like you were hiding contraband, which he was, he had an illegal cell phone that he shouldn't have had, which they found out that he had through jail phone calls, which are all recorded, and they tossed his cell and found the notes and found the cell phone. According to other articles and other information, he was using other inmates to contact people outside on his behalf. He's also been accused of using his children to tamper the jury pool, which how he's doing it is honestly quite brilliant. I would have thought of it too. Is he is having his children actively post saying how much they miss him, they love him. We love you, Daddy. Happy birthday, Daddy. They're doing all these posts saying how much they need him and this and that and da-da-da-da-da-da. The lawyers are saying that this is tampering the jury pool. Your turn. Go ahead. It is tampering the jury pool. Please don't look confused like that because it absolutely is.
So what is his kids not supposed to express their love for their father? I don't care how much of a creep he is.
They can. But have you seen the videos of what they're posting?
No.
Okay. So the videos of what they're posting aren't just like, I love you, Dad, I miss you, or happy birthday, Dad. It is full-on theatrical messaging with the baby saying, I love you, and they're trying to get the baby to talk. Posted jail phone calls of Diddy in the video saying how he needs to be back with them and how he misses and loves them so much. It is reels of him talking, videos. It's a whole bunch of stuff that he's been having his children post on his behalf with his voice inside of the reels. So it's not just them saying, "I love you, Dad." It's tampering the jury pool. It's smart from a PR standpoint.
It's Diddy. It's Diddy. Anything that he posts, anything that he says, anything that's close to him, anybody in proximity to him is going to affect the jury pool one way or the other. It's Diddy. And so, yeah, sure, that's smart. You go out here and you have your family talk about. I saw something on my thread. I guess there was a birthday party, or his birthday may have recently passed, and they had all the kids together, and all that. But then you got issues. He's got bigger fish to fry. Like I just pulled up, you've got this conversation going on now. This is Al B. Sure for some of the folks who may not be familiar with Al B. Sure. He was.
I'm tired of him.
Yeah, well, okay, but I'll be sure saying I've been silenced for the last 20 plus years. Okay, I'll be sure if people don't know, R&B singer from the late 80s, early 90s. His one son, Quincy Brown, is his son, but Diddy raised him. And the story is that he was really forced out of the life of his son. And
which I believe.
And so, right. And so then you have this thing where he's posting, this is screenshots of him and text messages that he was still receiving from Kim Porter, during the relationship, all through the years, right? And so I guess Kamora Lee, as he said, Kamora Lee, Buckley, Simmons, Perkins, Lesnar, I guess she's been married that many times.
She's been married a lot. She has. And so, everybody she's been married to ends up either in jail or indicted for something.
Yeah, sounds like there's a pattern there. And so, so I guess she's been running her mouth about I'll be sure. Everybody, here's what's happening right now. You got this situation going on, and then you got the Shine situation that's going on. I'll pull that up here in a second. Let you hear some audio from that. But folks are saying, okay, Diddy don't scare me no more. Not to mention that he's locked up. And for years, when everything went down, going back 25, 30 years ago, when Tupac was killed and Biggie was killed, and everybody was so afraid of Suge Knight and said Suge Knight was the monster. And it seemed like this whole time, Diddy was as monstrous as Suge Knight. And so here's another clip that just Shine, who some people may not know who Shine is. Shine was a young rapper down with Bad Boy. He was a very talented rapper from Belize. And then what happened was this incident at a nightclub. It was Sean Diddy, it was J-Lo, Jennifer Lopez, and Shine, and a girl got shot in the face, I believe. And Shine ended up taking the rap for that. And he did 10 years for Diddy. And so this was him recently on The Breakfast Club. I want you guys to hear this.
2009, we didn't, there wasn't an attempt at reconciliation until 2012 when I went to Paris to meet him. And that was the first attempt at forgiveness. But I was still in a place of, he owes me. He owes me his life. He owes me, he's a billionaire. If it wasn't for me, he wouldn't have been a billionaire. If I would have cooperated with the district attorney, he'd have went to jail, and heaven knows what would have happened to his career, right? So, that's worth at least a couple $1 million out of the $1 billion that you're worth. And interestingly enough, one of the things that Cassie alleges in her lawsuit is that when, he would assault her, then he would, take her on shopping sprees. And so I saw that in Paris. He spent like $500,000 like in one day shopping for her. But I felt he owed me something. And so it's like, he probably gave me like 50 racks. And I'm like, you can't be serious. Like, that's 10 years, 50 racks? Like, oh, man.
So that whole 10 years you were in jail, he didn't reach out to you at all?
He came to see me once, and I think I tried to spit in his face.
Okay.
In Rikers Island. So
that's probably why he didn't come back. Yeah.
I didn't want him to come back. I didn't even want him to come see me. I didn't even know he was coming to see me. They just brought me down in the lawyer's office, and
Mm-hmm.
So there wasn't an instant forgiveness. I got out in 2009.
So Shine, who now he's got a documentary that's now making the rounds. I need to check it out. He is a now politician in Belize, and he's
though. When he's in Belize in the interviews, his voice is his Belizean accent. He gets to the stateside, now all of a sudden you got a thick Queens accent. Every time he's in a different place, it's okay.
How many immigrants do we know who do that? They when they around their people, You know what I mean? But you know, it's Diddy. Diddy is getting his comeuppance right now. It's really between what's going on with Shine, what's going on with I'll Be Sure, what's going on with this case in its totality. It looks like he's really lived a really wretched life, and so now it's all coming back to a head. And I don't know where this is going to end up, but you know, here's the thing: do not be surprised if whenever he gets convicted, because are these federal crimes that he's dealing with? I don't know off the top of my head. Yeah, these are definitely federal crimes. These are
federal
definitely
crimes.
federal crimes.
Federal crimes, yes.
These are definitely federal crimes. Look out in the next 2 years on what Trump's role will be in this, right?
In
Because,
what?
huh?
In what?
Trump as president of the United States, you can do whatever you want. You can do whatever you want. And
Okay.
so when you start talking about, you think Trump wouldn't find a way to pardon him? Trump wouldn't find a way to get involved in this process?
Oh, F out of here. No way.
Okay.
That's a bridge too far. Okay, do you think
Okay.
he would have
I don't put anything past him because it's transactional.
that I do.
I don't because Diddy still has a lot of resources, a lot of money, and he also, as he continues, as in Trump, as he continues to try to court minorities, as he continues to try to be palatable, huh?
That ain't the way. You think
Okay,
Diddy
I
can
hear
still
you.
get black people? You still think after all of this, Diddy can when the video hit? I feel like when the video hit of him beating Cassie, that's when everybody's mind changed. You still think that Diddy still has the voice of the black culture after that video came out?
He still has a lot of black men. He does.
That's disturbing.
It is.
Do you not find it disturbing?
I find it very disturbing. I find it very disturbing. I find it very disturbing that so many black men roll with Trump. And it's really about power. It's about misogyny. It's about, here's the thing. And I joke about this, right? But when we talked about it, we had this conversation before. It was real easy for radio stations and for people and for us as a culture to cancel R. Kelly. Diddy is not canceled. That music is still everywhere.
Wait, now, we got to look at that situation realistically. It took us a little bit of time to cancel R. Kelly. Now, the first time he should have been canceled, was he canceled? The first time it happened.
When is the first time?
When the video came out and we also him having sex with a child.
This was when was that? When was that? The late 90s? There was no social media then.
It was 11. It might have been 12. I don't know.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So you said you were 11. And so what year was it when you were 11 years old?
I don't do math. I don't know. A while ago.
Oh my God. So point being, the reason
98?
So exactly the late 90s. I know I was still living in Virginia, and when it came out, there were still tapes, physical VHS tapes and DVDs that was circulating with this. And I go back to Dave Chappelle, which was also the late 90s, early 2000s with his TV show. So no, it wasn't as easy to cancel it then because you couldn't get the information out as fast as you can. Now it's like the speed of light. Now you hear back, forth, and forth. Aaliyah on the radio, they done took R. Kelly verse out of there altogether. His voice ain't nowhere near. It ain't there. So when but with Diddy, they're not removing Diddy because there's still people, the folks of the world who are out here. There's some folks that are disturbed, and there's people I don't even want to know that they exist in this world, but they do. They do.
But do you? Okay, I don't think that Trump is going to pardon Diddy. I don't think Trump gives a damn about what happens to Diddy. I really don't. I know you're saying it's a proximity
to power. Trump gives a damn about anybody. He cares about transactions, but go ahead.
No, he definitely cares about transactions. I just feel like if anybody to pardon to ease back into anything, that would be. It just doesn't make any sense. I think Diddy. I'm not saying Diddy's not doing any favors by what he's doing in jail.
I'm not saying that it's going to happen. What I'm saying is that I would not be surprised. I just would not be surprised if somewhere there's some ways that relationship gets thrown in there. All right, let's keep it moving. So we talked about Sean, we talked about I'll Be Sure.
Jamal Bryant. Jamal Bryant got married.
Jamal Bryant got married. He did, and
lid
so,
for every trash can.
What'd you say?
There's a lid for every trash can. So congratulations on your wedding.
Pastor
I'm
Jamal
sorry.
Bryant, Dr. Carrie Turner getting married in a non-traditional wedding. There was some
Carrie
video.
Turner.
I guess she was in like a green dress or something. I don't know.
No, she was in a giant pink cotton swab.
Oh, it was pink.
And
I know it
he
was something. Maybe he had on a green outfit. I don't know. I think it
scroll
was.
down.
I'll find it. You find it while I'm talking. So I'm.
I'm looking at it right now.
Did
I'm
you
looking at it right now.
did you drop it in the chat for me so I can pull it up? So
It's on your screen.
I don't see. I don't. It's not there
Scroll
unless
down.
it's where. Let me see.
Keep scrolling.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, it's kind of like a greenish something or other going on.
He looks like the main. Oh, what's happening? What's with the music? What's with the music? Why, Lord? Why?
Everything about Jamal Bryant is gonna be flamboyant. It is what it is. I just find it so funny how much you just can't stand Jamal Bryant. It's just funny to me.
I can't. And I think she's dumb for marrying him.
Why?
And you know why I think she's done for marrying him. And they better not get divorced. And she better not come out and say, well, I prayed about it and the Lord heard my cries and I realized that I needed to know my worth and not stay with him. But I love new birth. I love my new birth family, but I love me more. I don't want to hear none of that. I will drive to the
I don't think
and
she
do
got locked in
tomato
a new birth like that. She ain't no new birthing like that, I don't think.
But she's first lady now, right?
Yeah, I guess that would make her first lady. Yeah, absolutely. It is what it is, man. Everybody, and I mean that brother's got kids in college, and he didn't kept it moving. So,
outside of that, he also got into a fight with Ray J, which of all the people we thought somebody would have beef, Dr. Jamal Bryant. Like, I don't like Dr. Jamal Bryant as a human, but he does good things and he doesn't seem shady. He just seems like a jerk right in your face. So for him to be beefing with Ray J, where Ray J is now threatening him, it's just beyond me. So the story is that they did an interview.
They did. They were on the podcast. They were on Jamal Bryant's podcast, and supposedly after the interview, because of course when you're at that level, you sign releases and you say, okay, I don't do any live editing. And he said, well, no, I don't want you to release this. I'm paraphrasing. I want you to release this podcast. And Jamal was like, no, we're going to release this podcast. It's coming out. And Ray J called him.
So Ray J responds with, I don't care if you're from the church or not. Be respectful and do people right. Don't call people out their name and don't make people feel like they're not safe in the place where they thought they were safe. He added, underscoring his disappointment in the experience. Shortly after the stern warning, another video featuring the Wait a Minute singer circulated. They just be saying all his little hits, where he claimed N-word just tried to shoot me and tried to kill me, N-words, and you want me to apologize, N-word, F you. Something's wrong with Ray J. Can we have that conversation that something's wrong with Ray J?
Ray J. Let's go back. And Ray J was at the Trump party at the election. He had his red hat on, the whole nine. Yeah, Ray J is,
That doesn't mean something's wrong with him. There was stuff going on with him before this.
We have a difference of opinion about whether or not Ray J being at Trump's election party, whether or not there's something wrong with him. But let's go back. Let me let you have that. And so, why do you believe something's wrong with Ray J? Because I don't find it wrong with Ray J because he make money. That's what he's good at. But go ahead.
Ray J has a rant like this every 3 months. There's some kind of random rant. There's some kind of random beef he's getting in. There's somebody randomly he's getting in a fight with. Remember, he just got beat up by Diddy's kids 2 weeks ago. Jumped by them 2 weeks ago.
I had no idea.
Yeah, he got jumped by them 2 weeks ago. Which again, nobody needs to hit nobody.
It's the social media era. We'll talk about this later. But Mike Tyson, a damn near 60 years old, just fought a dude who used to be on Disney. It is all about the attention era now. And so Ray J, who we say we can count on one hand, Ray J's hits. We can count on one hand. I don't think it's 5. It might be 3. It might be.
Wait a minute. One Wish.
One. Okay.
Let me Google it. I'm gonna Google it.
That's a Gen X reference. Do you know what I mean when I say Bueller? When I say that,
I know what you mean when you say Bueller.
Okay.
It's more.
All right,
It's more than just more than 2. Hold on. Keep talking. Let's see.
Yeah. Keep. I gotta put Jeopardy on here.
Oh, sexy can I? Dun, 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 do, do,
There's
do,
your
do.
3. Yay! Let's give her an applause. She got 3
Oh,
hits.
wait, there's another one. I hit it first. Remember that about Kim Kardashian? You do remember that song? I hit it.
So folks, and for people who don't know, Ray J, who we're talking about, who is Brandy's brother, I think that kind of triggers him. But Brandy's brother is known for a couple of things, and one of them being the one who put Kim Kardashian on, and now it is what it is, and 3 hits. And so now, he's got to stay relevant. You know what I mean? He's out here making money selling AirPods or his version of AirPods, earbuds, whatever. And I don't know what other businesses that he's in, but he knows how to stay in the conversation. Because what's the other dude from one of the sitcoms? What's his name? Orlando Brown. I think he was from That's So Raven, who was out there wilding out. I think they had a viral moment about a week or 2 ago.
2 crackheads walking the streets. That's what it is. Just 2 crackheads walking. These men are not well.
But they're making money. They're making money.
I guess.
Let me see. What else did I put in my little bucket here? I put in my little bucket here of what I should have used that earlier. But for people who don't know, this brother right here, Keith Boykins, is doing some of the best content on the internet streets right now. If you're not following Keith Boykins, give him a follow.
Ooh, why does he look like that? He looks homeless.
That's
what I'm going to say. He looks homeless.
Just because of that, I'm getting ready to give you a Keith Boykins moment because you disrespected the man.
Ever want to hear another word from a Trump supporter about DEI, affirmative action, or meritocracy after they voted for Donald Trump to be the first person ever elected president with no experience in government or military, voted for him in 2024 as the first convicted felon ever elected president, allowed J.D. Vance to become vice president with no experience in elected office until last year, and now picked a white Fox News host to replace a black 4-star general as Secretary of Defense. And
he's got some of the best content on the web because it's very thought out and it's very in detail. But you can follow that at Keith Boykins, and he talks about Matt Gaetz and a little bit of everybody. But
right, I mean, he's not wrong. I mean, I think
he's not wrong at all.
I have my issues with DEI all the time. We talked about it. I already said liberal white women ruined what DEI was supposed to be. That what people of color wanted it to be. White women ruined it. Thanks for that, by the way. And so now but this is the same thing that happened last time when he ran the first time. It was nepotism city the first time.
Right. That's how that works. None of this is a surprise. When it's all said and done, and what we've seen more now, and I'm just going to chalk it up to the internet era that we're in, because I'm sure it was always going on. But these folks on the right are not even trying to fake it anymore. They're just like, we don't give a damn about no qualifications. It's all about who is my buddy, and I'm going to hire you because you want the job and because you've been on television for the last, and specifically, I'm not even going to chalk this up to all Republicans. Unfortunately, for the last 10 years, we've had to deal with Trump and the way he does business. And the way he does business is completely transactional, and it's all about loyalty based. And so the fact that these folks are loyal to Trump, it doesn't matter about qualifications. On the other side, you have a Kamala Harris who served in all 3 branches of government very effectively, did her job very, very well. But as soon as they say, oh, she's not qualified, based on what metrics was she not qualified? You cannot like her. You cannot. But one thing you cannot say is Kamala Harris was not qualified for the role. She was obviously qualified for the role. More qualified than George W. Bush, more qualified than Donald Trump, damn near more qualified than Barack Obama. She was obviously qualified.
And the one thing they always throw in when somebody's qualified, especially a woman, oh, she had sex. She sexed her way all the way to the top. That's always the response. She sexed her way to the top. She slept with everybody to get there.
Right.
Like,
when on the other side, Donald Trump is on wife number 3 and cheated on every last one of them. So you know, so it is what it is. I'm not even at the point where none of this stuff surprises me. None of this stuff is like, oh, clutch the pearls. This is the way that it works in this world. You look at the qualifications of the cabinet that is in seat right now. You got a 4-star general who's your Secretary of Defense. You've got, Pete Buttigieg, who he's probably technically the least qualified, but at the same time, he was a mayor, so he understands Department of Transportation and what it takes to manage those type of budgets. These people have done the work. The people they put in these positions right now most of them have not done the work that they're putting in positions. Just like with Ben Carson. When Ben Carson, who is a freaking a world-renowned heart surgeon, and you make him the Secretary of Housing, of HUD, and he doesn't touch nothing in medical. That's insane to me. Nothing in health, and this guy was a world-renowned surgeon. And right now, don't like the man, don't like his politics, but you can't take away from the fact that who he was and what he did. And so there's that. All right, let's jump in before we get up out of here. We got to get on our How What. I think you had something in the How What.
The first thing in How What is that Spirit Airlines is going out of business. Are we shocked? Are we surprised that the Greyhound of the skies, that the Fred Flintstone car of the skies, where they charge you to print out your own ticket, is going out of business? So, according to Fox,
I always get them confused. There was Spirit Airlines. Is Spirit Airlines the yellow one?
Yeah.
There was another one that was really cheap, and then they merged together. What was it?
Allegiant. Okay, so the lower bottom ones are Allegiant, Frontier, and Spirit. Frontier and Spirit were supposed to, so according to Fox Business, the airline's most recent attempt to merge with Frontier Airlines have reportedly fallen through, with the latter company walking away from the potential plan. Subsequently, Spirit is now reportedly preparing to file for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection. Additionally, the outlet noted the recent merge attempts in Spirit's second failed try in less than 2 years. Per the outlet, Spirit previously attempted to merge with JetBlue. However, JetBlue got smart and said, "Get the F out of here. We're not effing with you." That was my opinion. That's not what they really said. That's what they should have said, though. So here's what happens to the airline. Okay, so none of this matters. Spirit Airlines was a joke. I know they were trying to make airline affordable for the everyday person, and their terminal shows that. If you want a good entertaining time, go to the Spirit Airlines counter. That's what it is. They constantly had flights canceled. They were underpaying their pilots. They constantly had issues. It just wasn't a well-done airline. They had tried it. It didn't work.
Right. I saw.
You know what would like to happen with airlines?
What?
And tell me if I'm wrong.
What?
I would love to go back to in the day where you had to look like something to get on an airplane. Where if you went to the airplane with your Sunday's best practically to get on the flight, and people appreciated that, and everybody was respectful and nice. Don't you? I want to go back to those days.
Bro, you can't even get mayors to wear ties anymore. And you think that people gonna get on a plane in their Sunday best in them tight seats? Imagine me, big as I am, trying to get in one of them little tight chairs, and I got a suit on, and nah, And they was also, when people was wearing suit and ties, they was also smoking cigarettes. So there's that. All right. So what else you got on before we get out of here?
The other story I have in How What, and I thank you to intern Alexis. So apparently Keith Lee did a review of a very popular sushi chain. He said there were 30 different options at sushi place. It's really, really good. He said that the rice was overcooked, but other items tasted fresh and really snappy. Despite his enthusiasm, happy with his dishes, people in the comment section of his TikTok noticed something strange about the sushi he ordered. Viewers claimed they saw something live in his meal and moving around. The alleged parasite in Lee's food made fans worry that he might get sick. For instance, someone commented, "Keith Lee, please let us know that you're okay." Following the online outrage from Lee's viral quick, FOB Sushi Bar addressed the unease about its food on Instagram. "We were honored to welcome Keith Lee and FOB Sushi and are incredibly grateful for his visit and the support for everyone who has stopped by." It continued, "Recently a video has been circulating online that claims worms were found in our sashimi. We want to address this claim directly and assure you that it's entirely false." So even though they came out and said this is just people watching the video, these people had to close their restaurant down because of bad reviews.
Man, Keith Lee don't be playing. I think I also saw, was this on his Seattle trip? Because I think he was in Seattle and there was he ate some duck that was really really good, and then that went viral, and people were. But hey, man, folks, they cutting their teeth, and Keith Lee is doing an amazing job, and so yeah, another example of social media and the power of social media and everything that's being done. All right.
But is that social media in the good way? That we can shut down people's whole livelihoods because we might have saw something on the video that there's no confirmation and Keith Lee is completely fine and healthy?
Yeah, I'm not gonna say it's in a good way, but that's social media now. I just look at that thing and just say, it just takes one viral moment, man. It takes one viral moment that you sit up and you just like, what in the hell just happened? And you imagine if you are running a business and then all of a sudden you look up and you're just like, okay, why was I chilling yesterday and now I walk in here and there's people lined out my door? Oh, you had a viral moment with Keith Lee. So this is what happens. So, it is what it is. All right, so let me see. What else we got going on before we get up? Any stories we missed?
No stories we missed. Are you watching The Diplomat on Netflix? With
No.
Kerry Russell.
Who was on that?
Kerry Russell.
Oh, I don't know.
It's very good. It's very, very good. The white girl from Felicity. Don't play those stupid crickets.
No idea. So here's the thing. For everybody out here who might be watching this show and say, man, everything is racial with Miguel. Everything is racial with Life Full Circle Radio. Let me tell you what show I'm watching right now. And I am glued to the screen. That damn Yellowstone. Boy, oh boy.
Oh my God, let it go.
You cannot shoot. You can't get no more. I don't know what the hell is going on in their lives, but I do in Yellowstone. They are on a ranch in Montana, and there's a whole scene about them in the ground and the rattlesnakes getting the people, and they wearing boots and all that. That show is so enthralling. It is something else. And so for people who are not watching, you better catch up. One of my boys was watching, so he was on season 3, and this whole season is about the lead character, Kevin Costner. I think we talked about this last week.
We talked about it last week. Let it go.
No, I can't let it go. So we're watching Yellowstone, and which is amazing. And that guy Taylor, what is his name? Taylor Sheridan, I think is his name, because we're watching 2 of his shows. I think his name is Taylor Sheridan. He's the producer. Look that up for me real quick. The producer of Yellowstone. I think his name is Taylor Sheridan. This dude has got to have an endless budget because every show that he produces has got nothing but A-list Gen X actors in his doggone shows. Gen X and so you're talking about, you got Kevin Costner leading Yellowstone. He got a new show coming out that's got Demi Moore and what's the guy with the 3 names that Halle Berry was in the movie with and Monsters Ball. What's his name? You know what I'm talking about. Anyway, So then you've got
Billy something,
Billy
blah, blah,
Bob
blah. The
Thornton.
one
Billy Bob.
Billy Bob.
And the thing about it is that not only does he have these actors that are big names, but they're doing these big productions when they're in the middle of nowhere and they got drones. Like he also is producing Lioness. You found his name?
Also, he owns that ranch. Doesn't he own that ranch that films Yellowstone?
I wouldn't be surprised. What's his name? Taylor Sheridan, I think his name is that right?
Taylor Sheridan, yeah.
This guy has got to have, I don't know who he was or what, but he makes amazing television in these series because, we watched Yellowstone. We're watching Lioness now with, what's her name? Zoe Saldana is in that, and Morgan Freeman is in that. And then, what is her name? He used to be married to Tom Cruise. I think she's in that one as well. So he's got all these A-list people. Who was that? What's her name?
Nicole Kidman.
Yes, I think that's who it is. So
anyway. Yeah, he owns that ranch. The ranch they film Yellowstone on, he owns it, which saves a lot of money. The film on that sprawling piece of property
saves a lot of money. You think he letting them get on that ranch for free? They paying him. They paying him not only to be the producer, but also to rent his ranch to produce it. He ain't doing that stuff for free. He like, oh, come on over here to my ranch for free. No, hell no. They paying him for that, location fees. So, yeah, man. But that's great television. We're watching that. I'm really, man, what's the name? Abbott Elementary, catching up on that. That's my comedy.
So funny.
That is bad.
When they broke out in that Wild Wild West, I didn't even know that show had a line dance. I was like, oh, wait, I got to learn it.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah. Then the episode with the ringworm, that was disgusting and funny at the same time.
Accurate. It was accurate though. It was definitely accurate. My kids come home. I'm like, let me look at your arms, elbows, who you touch. Why are you sneezing? Why are you coughing?
Oh my God.
All right. Well, I gotta wrap it up. It was so great talking to everybody. I guess I gotta make phone calls right now because I'm almost done with work for the day. Boo. But I will talk to you guys next week.
All right. Peace and bye-bye.